Hello, hello, friends. This is Grace here at the Comfy Nest with Grace, and it is April craft kit time. Yay! Look what we got. I'm so excited. These have been in the works for months, actually, but you guys have had them in your hands for a couple of weeks. I'll explain all about it here in a minute. I want to make sure that everybody can get on live and see and hear what I'm doing. So I'm going to check on that and make sure the live feed is coming through while you guys are coming on and saying hello. So welcome to Friday. It is April 21st. Can you believe it's already the 21st? You guys, it's the 21st of April and it's storming. It's snowing. The kids came home early yesterday. They had a late start today because of the snow, if you can believe it. But it is April. It is April. It's time for some springtime fun. Hi, Miss Janet. Thank you for saying hello. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for joining. So if you've landed here, this is the Comfy Nest with Grace. I live in North Dakota. I love to share crafting and creating. Particularly, I love paper crafting, art journaling, junk journaling, napkin journaling, and all the things. I've had a craft membership club since 2019. And since then, I've had two others. I recently merged two of them into one. So we're down to one main group where I'm doing all the napkin crafting and napkin journaling and the home decor and painting and bookmaking and art journaling all in one place called the Craft Therapy Club. So if you're a member, give me a shout out in the comments. I want to hear from you. And listen, if you have this April kit, give me a shout out. If you're an April kit purchaser and you have this kit, give me a shout out in the comments because some of you may or may not be creating with me today live. So this is new. When I merged the two groups, the Napkin Lovers Club had a quarterly box that went with it, and that has dissolved, but we've added other things in place of it. So when you join the Craft Therapy Club now, this wasn't the case before, but now when you join the Craft Therapy Club, you get a bundle of napkins sent to you in a mail as a welcome gift. And that bundle we use inside the group to do napkin crafting. How clever is that? Because I've merged the napkin group with the general group. And so we're doing it all in one place. So one low price of $15 a month. And that is new, merging those two groups and the welcome gift of napkins. So we're still doing our napkin crafting, but I still love to just do general crafts. And today we're going to do that. So this April kit, this is the first monthly kit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a different kit every month or so based on family obligations and stuff like that. But about every month, I'm going to offer a new kit that you can opt into or you don't have to. You don't have to. You can skip one. You can order one. Craft Therapy Club members, you always get a discount on your kit and you'll always get first dibs. So I'll give the kit first to Craft Therapy Club members. They get to order it with a discount because I'm only going to order so many. And then whatever's remaining of inventory will be offered out to the general public and you're welcome to join. And we have a little bit of both this time. Hello, Miss Paula. She says, I have a kit, but you're going to make it later tonight. I know a lot of you. Hello, Kelby. Welcome back, girly. I know a lot of you do like to watch first and create later. And that's really not a bad idea. I mean, I think it's a great idea because you may see something that I do that you prefer to do differently. And I say, go for it, girl. Go for it. Do it different. You do you. I'll give you the way I'm doing it, and then you do you. So let's have some fun today. We're going to create this kit. Greetings from Spain. Hello, Miss Tanya. Thanks for being here. Diana's here. Hello, Diana. So this is what you got in the kit. You got this 12 by 12 pallet board. It's lightweight, and it does have hangers on it. Oh, I better get it right side up. So it has hangers, 3 different hangers on it. So if you want your pallets to run horizontal, you can, or if you want them to run vertical, you can. I'm going to go horizontal with my pallets. So you got that. You got this quality cardstock that has 2 different designs on it. One side has this neutral tan and brown cross. That's the side I'm going to use. Or actually, you guys, this one has a bunch of letters and they look like marquee letters. They have little polka dots on them. They're so cute. It's got a very neutral background with a green shadow and yellow letters with white polka dots. It's called Little Bits of Letters. And I actually think this one would be really great for family photos, particularly for school photos, because of course the alphabet. So if you're going to use school photos to display this family photo keepsake project, that one would actually work out really well. You got in your kit, you got this standalone house board that has the the cute little clothes hanger on it with the little clips. Adorable, right? And then you got this cardstock cutout, which gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different design elements to cut out and hang along your clothesline with the photos that you've chosen. Okay. So I gave you lots of options with this. Hello Spring may not be appropriate if you're giving this to somebody as a gift for a wedding, for example, or, Mother's Day is coming up. So maybe if you're giving it to Nana versus giving it to Mama, or making it for yourself, you may just want to have different phrases on it, and different phrases may be more appropriate depending on the picture that you're using. Now I'm going to use these pictures. Check this out. These are my children. These are my boys. These are their school photos this year. They're both in high school. This is a high school sophomore and junior. You see how happy he was to have his photo taken? I love these photos. And actually, because they are in high school, they're not real cheesed about having their photos displayed a whole lot of places, to be honest with you. But these are going to fit just perfectly hanging on my little clothesline with one of these phrases. So these are the photos that I'm going to use. So if you're creating alongside with me, I sent you an email. If you bought the kit, I sent you an email with the list of supplies, other supplies that you'd want to gather, like the paint colors of choice. I've got a few here that I don't know which one I'm going to use. I've tried to narrow it down to that. Of course, you'll need a paintbrush. You're going to need some scissors. You will need a needle nose plier. I know mine looks awful, but it does the job. And, or something that can remove this back piece, because if you choose to do it like I'm doing it, we're going to glue this onto the front of this board when it's all done. So it's going to be a double layered surface. So that's how that's going to work out. You will need, or I think at least you might want to have your glue gun handy. So I'm going to get that on my table and ready, plugged in. Well, actually, I'm not going to plug it in just yet because we haven't got there yet. Hello, Miss Mimi. Hi, Shelly. You're a kit purchaser. Hey, Jeanette, are you creating alongside with me? She said, I'm so glad I can make it. Now, listen, the girls who are here, ladies, the girlies, those of you who are here who bought a kit, if you're at work and you can't do it right now, I get it. And like I said in the email that I sent to you guys, the video recording is going to be shared inside the Craft Therapy Club. That's the paid membership group. It'll be shared inside the free group, the Crafty Chicks Club. So the video will still sit here on the page. So you'll still have access to it. It's not like it's going to disappear, and you can just follow along when you're ready. Jeanette is creating alongside with me today. Yay. So a couple of things that I actually didn't mention in the email that you may want to have on hand. Perhaps you could want some standing block. I don't know. We'll look at that in a few minutes. And I actually thought some painter's tape would be helpful. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get this board ready. So let's put everything else aside and we're going to start working on this board. Now, today is very much a workshop. I'm going to teach you how to put this together. So I'm going to talk you through it and talk about tips and tricks, or I like to tell you alternatives. Like if you don't want to do this, you could do that. So we're just gonna you can just follow along with me and see. This is a lot of what we do inside the Craft Therapy Club are very specific instructions with alternative supplies that you can use, because I'm all about using what you have on hand. All right, so I'm going to drop a comment for you guys that if you are watching this, particularly if you're watching it on the replay, or even if you're watching it live, and you haven't gotten the kit, you never knew about the kit. This is new. This is a new thing here at the Comfy Nest with Grace. So if you haven't gotten a kit, you want a kit, there are a few left. So I've dropped, it's up on the screen, but I dropped it in the comments, the link to grab the kit, or you can just go to my website, thecomfynestwithgrace.com, and hit the shop. Go into the shop. All right, let me grab a chair. We're going to work on our little house first. And I think probably if I suggested you could actually make 2 different projects out of this, because you got 2 fantastic surfaces. This one stands up on its own, which it makes it like a little photo frame stand-up thing back here. I'm going to glue mine together. So I'm going to remove this. And so that, oh, look at it popped off. I didn't even need an extra tool. It popped right off. If you just bend it backwards, popped right off. Now this little doodad, it looks just like a man's tie. You guys. So repurposing, talk about repurposing. What could you use this for? Repurposing. Tell me in the comments your ideas for repurposing this, because I don't let anything go to stinking waste. It looks just like a tie to me, a man's long tie. And Father's Day is coming up. So maybe we could use this in a Father's Day craft, either with this, because maybe you could glue this onto another surface, you know, or you just pull it off. Use your, you know, it came off pretty darn quick. I don't think it was glued on there too heavily. So I think we'd be able to just get this off here pretty quick if we wanted to. Anyway, this isn't, we're not going to use this today. I just want to say, don't throw it out. Don't throw it out. Work on getting that off there, or find a way to use it with, it looks like a little tie, which I think is darling. It popped right off. Now this is going to sit nice and flat, actually, so that we can paint it more easily. And we are going to paint it. You don't have to paint it. You don't have to paint it. Of course you don't have to paint it. I'm going to take these little clippies off and put them off to the side, just for the sake of ease. It'll make it easier for you. And this is where I think the painter's tape comes in. Now, I think you could pop these off and take the rope off and paint, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to deal with trying to get it back in and is it going to fit. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a big length of tape and I'm going to wrap it around my rope so my rope does not get any paint on it. Okay, we can take it off later. So I'm going to put this on loosely. I don't need it to be super tight. I just need it when I pick up my rope to paint underneath there. I want it to pick it up, right? This is the way I'm doing it. I always say, you do you, girl. You can pop, these are just little tacks. They're just little tacks, and you could pop those off. Your string will come off, and then you may actually need to get a new jute rope or different kind of string to string across there to get your little clips back on. I suppose you could just do without them if you don't want them. It's totally up to you. Hello, Teresa. Hi. Kim says, yes, something for Father's Day. Something for Father's Day. Wouldn't that be awesome? It does look like a tie, Jeanette. Oh, Kelby says, I love this view that you're doing now. Why, thank you. I love having the flexibility, you guys. I use StreamYard to do this, and it really does help, particularly when teaching workshops, so that you can see me and we can make a connection, and you can also see the project. It also allows me, let's see if I can work it out real easily. It does allow me to make one of them bigger, or just put the project up solely. So if there's something you really want to hone in on, or we can make them equally centered in. So it's really nice that it gives us all these options. So Kelby, thanks for mentioning it. I appreciate that. I do. Hi, Joyce. How are you? And Sandra's here. Hello, Miss Sandra. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. All right, let's do it. So I get how to pick a paint. So here's what I do. Here's me. It's just my thought process. I have my paper. And I've chosen the side on my paper. I actually really love this one with the kids' school photos, especially, or if you have younger children. See, my kids aren't, they're going to feel like this is really juvenile. They're at that age where things embarrass them easily. So they'd be like, Mom, they're going to think this is too young for them. So I'm going to use the more mature, neutral, manly crosses on this side. I just think they're neutral, but for them, they're going to feel like it's more masculine than having the sweet letters on there. You do not have to use the paper I sent you. If you have a different paper that you like better, girl, use it. But here's what I do. Before I chose my paint colors, here's what I do. I pull out my paper. I'm going to pull out my photos because the photos have colors to them, right? They have a blue background. They both have the same exact picture studio, school picture photo background. But Landon has like an army green shirt on, and Gannon has like a cranberry colored shirt on. This, to me, affects the color of my house because I was going to do light green, but I'm not sure that that's going to go with all of this. So then I started looking at like this color, like the same color that matches Gannon's shirt. for a house, it actually is kind of like a really dark red. So it could emulate a barn. So I'm thinking dark red, and then two colors. The top, the roof detail of your house, you might want it a different color. I do. And I think I'm just going to go with this neutral khaki tan. Okay. That's what I think I'm going to go with. And I based it on the paper colors and the colors of the photos so that everything is coordinated and matching. Okay. Then you could also pull these in and make a decision on which ones you're going to use. And maybe one of these will determine what color you want to use. Because if you knew for sure, no matter what, you wanted to use the Choose Happy on your clothesline, that's going to help you determine what color paints you might want, because you want to coordinate best as possible. So I try to make that decision. I pull all the supplies together and I try to make that decision before it gets started. That way things are real cohesive. I'm all about coordinating the colors and letting the focal point of your project help determine what colors you want to use. So I'm going to try this red. Yeah, these are actually two different colors. One is called Spiced Berry and the other one is called Tuscan Red. You guys, I don't see a difference. They're two different, like, they're both apple barrel, but one is multi-surface and one is not. I'm going to go with the not because it's generally a thinner paint. It's not as thick. And I'm going to paint my house with the red, and I'm going to paint my trim with this, okay? This khaki tan. You choose whatever colors you want. Let's get painting. I'm going to grab actually one more brush, paintbrush, so that, let's see. Let's find a little paintbrush so that I can easily do my trim and I don't have to clean my brush in between. But you, like I said, you do you. I bought recently, you guys. Let me show you what I bought. Oh, Joyce, you're so sweet. She says, nice photos, handsome young men you have there. I don't put them on, like, I don't put photos of them on this page often. I'm a little protective of that as a mama. My mama bear comes out, and I'm a little protective of putting their photos on a public page here on Facebook. I'm sure you can understand that. I do share their photos in the Craft Therapy Club. Elena Noom recently went to a military ball with his girlfriend, and I shared some photos of them inside because it's a private group. I feel safe in there. I also shared it in the Telegram channel, my Telegram channel, because that's safe. It's the people who are in there, I know who they are. So if you want a little more behind the scenes, also Facebook subscribers also get to see that stuff because it's a private group. Della, it's okay. You are welcome here anytime, girl. You could turn that wood tie into an angel. Oh, Mimi, that's a fun idea. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, Joyce, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Joyce and I were sick at the same time a week ago, but she's still not feeling great. So I'm glad it's turning around. Hi, Kathy. Hello, hello. Oh, I'm so glad all you girls are here. I'm glad. Okay, let's get painting. I'm going to do this one first. Oh, what I bought these. Look at these. They're little porcelain dishes. They almost look like a dish that you would get if you went for, like, when Gan and I love to go to the Japanese steakhouse for hibachi. Gan and I are both huge fans of it. And when they bring you your condiments, your little dipping sauces and stuff, they put them in these little dishes. But these are a stackable set, and it actually has a little cover. And what they're for is for paint. They're for paints and colors, so that the only other thing that I have is a really big rectangle, and it's I think that is porcelain plated too. But I saw these and I thought, how handy, just if I'm just needing one color and I just need a dabble of it, to be able to do this and put it aside and stack them when I'm done with them, instead of having that huge tray on my table taking up all the room. So I'm going to do this first just because it's little and it shouldn't take me very long. And if you know me at all, which most of you do. Hi, Karen. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I don't generally get real fussy about painting the sides of my natural wood projects because I like the natural wood edges showing. If that's not your jam, if you really want to, you should remember to paint all of your edges. Actually, I think on this one, I usually don't paint this, but I think I will today. I think I will. Let's get this painted up here. Usually I leave it raw And I usually have some other kind of natural wood element on my project. But today, I guess I've changed my mind. Like I said, when I always tell you guys, you do you, man. You do you. So I'm going to go up to here, the roof line. And then when I color this red, I'll color this red. Your choice. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to follow along exactly with what I do, or you can follow along exactly the way I do. It is your choice. That's the beauty of crafting together. And then when we're done creating these Craft Therapy Club members, I would love it if you would share your project photos inside the group. And I'll give you some instruction. I like to have like a way for everybody to find those if they ever want to. So we'll use April Craft Kit as the hashtag for finding it. And you can share your project photos in the group. Same for those of you who are not Craft Therapy Club members in the paid membership group. I would love it if you'd share your project photos in the free group so that everybody can see. And sometimes I do a little challenge along with that. Like anybody who shares, I'm going to put your name in, doing some happy mail. So be watching for those instructions. Kit buy. Those of you who bought kits and you're participating in this, watch for instructions. Those will be coming up later. All right. This paint, thankfully, is really gliding on here very easily. It's not even like, some wood projects, it just sucks up the paint like crazy. This isn't so bad. It's just really laying on there nicely. When you opened yours, you got your kit. I don't have a brand new. I had already opened mine because I wanted to look at this mechanism and how it was going to come off. It had a sticker on the front, like the manufacturer sticker. Just my advice, if I pulled mine up with no problem at all, like I didn't need to heat it up at all. But if it's really stuck on there, rather than fighting with the label, heat it up a little, even with a hairdryer. Heat up that sticker a little bit and it'll come off pretty easily. Jeanette, I love you, girl. I love you. Thanks for saying so. I think the same for you, my dear. Hello, Missy. Hello, hello. Thank you, Joyce, for sprinkling and spreading the love. You guys, it's a quiet day in Craft Around the Clock. Did you see that? Did you notice that? The girls are all heading to Texas to meet. I'm not in Texas. Clearly, I'm not in Texas. I'm not in Texas. I couldn't do it, but I wish I could. That would have been so fun. But the girls are all from all the hostesses from Craft Around the Clock are meeting in Texas. And I think they invited, Craft Around the Clock members, those who are in the group, which is a free group. You're welcome to join. They invited everybody to join them for like a meet and greet. How fun would that be? Is anybody going to it? If you're out there and you're going to this meet and greet for Craft Around the Clock, that's in Texas. I think all the girls are on their way now down there. This is a travel day, I think. Okay. Like, so Pat from Unique is going. There's so many creators who are going to it. Oh man, wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun? Okay. I'm putting this aside for now. This one may need to touch up, so I'm just going to leave it out there, but let's get to our red color and we'll get started with this one. So easy breezy. We're just coloring whatever color you want. This is a really deep red. I'm hoping that this is going to emulate or like make us think about, oh, it kind of looks like a barn. I don't know. That's my hope. You saw that, Tony? You wanted to go too. Oh, girly. I wish I could go. I only have, budgeted, probably like most of us. I've budgeted so much in travel money a year. And I live so far away from my family. Actually, I don't want to do this little, I just loaded this up with paint and I thought, no, I don't want to do that because there's just too much paint on here. So I'm going to unload most of it down here and then come up here. It'll be more controlled and I won't slobber paint all over everything that I'm not supposed to. Oh, I like this color, you guys. What do you think? Oh my gosh, is it pretty? It is really deep red. I half wondered if I was going to need to, not water it down, but lighten it up by adding some white or tan or something like a off-white to it. But I really like it the way it is. I like that a lot. It's going to need some touch up and I may end up doing a little dry brushing to give it more of a wood grain look. So I'll show you that later when we're done getting it painted. If you old barn red, right, Kelvy, doesn't it look like that? Okay, here's where our tape comes in because I'm picking up I'm picking up my jute rope that has the tape all over it, and it doesn't matter to me if my paint gets on my tape. It's no bug to me because I'm just going to pull it off later. So that shouldn't be an issue. And then around my little tack there that's gold, actually, if you don't want the gold to show, you can paint right over it. I think it would be okay to do that. I'm going to try to maintain the gold. Let's see if we can do it. I'm just going to carefully paint around that little gold. It's like a tack. Yep. It's easy to do if you just take your time and you have a nice straight, a nice thin straight brush that has really controlled bristles versus like, look at this one. Those are not controlled bristles. They are whacked out, man. Look at them. They're all splayed out and whacked out, where this one's nice and tight and controlled. See the difference? So on tight spaces, you want some tight control. You could go down to a smaller paintbrush if you're more comfortable with that. I think I'm just going to wing it with the one that I have, because you know me, the lazy girl crafter. I don't want to dirty more supplies than I have to. By the way, I did think of you guys this morning. So last night we had a Zoom craft party for the Craft Therapy Club. It's an open craft night. So we get together on Zoom so we can see each other and chat, and everybody works on whatever you want to work on. There's no particular project. You just work on, you just work on whatever you want to. And when we were done, I told you guys my family was cooking. My Lord, oh Lord, they left me a mess. Holy buckets. You should have saw the pans that they dirtied. The pans that they dirtied. I was like, are you kidding me, people? They made different kinds of meat. So they need several pans because not everybody can agree to eat chicken. We had chicken and hamburgers. It was quite the mess this morning. All right, I'm really liking this color, actually. I'm going to get up in this while I can. I'm up here. I'm going to get up in this juncture right there. Oh, it's so pretty. And this barn, this little barn house, really cute, right? It's taking the paint so well. It's like taking it like a champ. Sometimes when you paint projects like this, they just suck up the paint like crazy. You guys, I am such a messy painter. Look, I'm getting like the red on the tan. It's okay. I'll touch. That's why I left that there, because I will need to touch up. I am not a perfectionist by any means. I've tried to let go of that so long ago. You guys have heard me say this so many times. Those of you who hang out with me on the regular, that perfectionism takes away all the fun for me with creating. So I've learned over the years, it's a practice. I practice letting go of that need to be perfect and just really enjoying the process of creating. And the outcome, feeling so good about creating something myself that I can really enjoy in my house or give away as a gift, share with someone. All right, what colors, if you're doing this project, what colors did you pick? Can you share in the comments what colors you chose for your barn? Or I'm calling it a barn. Yours might not be a barn. Yours, I really actually was thinking I wanted like a very light green, like a sage green. But then when I picked the photos of the kids, I changed my mind on the color of it because, yeah, I don't think the light green would have gone with what they had on and the colors in the photos. Okay, so see here, I have this one all done and I have this one all done, and you can see this crack. It's a pretty wide palette board crack right there. If that bothers you, just get your paint and get in there. It's going to take a little fussy work, but just get in there with your paintbrush, a nice wet paintbrush, and you're going to have to hit both edges to try to minimize that white, the brightness of the wood. It's not white, but the brightness, because the wood is obviously there's such a big contrast between the wood, the bare color of the wood, and my red paint. Okay, so take a minute to do that if you want to. You can see there's a big difference in just the little bit of work that I did there. It's not so noticeable. So if you like it noticeable, leave it. If you don't like it noticeable, let's do over here so you can take a peek with and without. Getting in there. Like I said, I usually like those natural wood things. showing. I need more paint. I need more paint. Grace, your sister was hilarious last night in the Zoom Craft Club Therapy Club. Tell her coaster story. Oh my gosh, the coaster story. Jeanette, she is so funny. She was like really bummed out. She's like, can you believe someone would do that? I was like, well, I don't know that I actually don't know that my brain would think to do that either. Like if I were the shopper, but when you're trying to accommodate, you know, your customers, and if that's what they want is the option to choose whatever coaster designs they want. She was like, I don't get it. I don't understand why anybody would do that. Her brain is so linear, I think. She thinks so, and she's so smart. So it's not a bad thing. It's just her brain is wired differently. Oh gosh, I thought it was funny. Jeanette, I'm glad you appreciated it too. Okay, so you can see a little bit how it's brighter here because I haven't gotten in there with that brush to like tone down the natural wood. So keep it in mind. If you may have to like pick it up like I'm doing and angle your brush down into that wood, and you want enough paint on your brush that it's actually going to color it. You can't be skimpy with the paint, and it'll make a big difference. It may not be important to you, then you won't have to worry about being fussy about it if that's the case. Okay, my tape is mainly sitting on the top. I probably could flap this down so I can get in here, but I'm just going to get my fingers dirty. Let them get dirty and hold it while I paint. All right, I have to pick it up so I can reach better and just get a different angle here. So this didn't take long. Whoops, I got a little bit on the gold on this side. It really hasn't taken long to paint this at all. It really sucked up the paint really well, and I had good coverage with the paint that I chose. The paint that I'm using is an Apple Barrel. Nothing super fancy. It's a nice dark, rich color. You could stain this too. I mean, maybe that's obvious, but I'll mention it just in case. The other option is to stain this with, if you have a favorite wood stain color, you could do that as well. Okay. So I think we're good here. I have to get my sides, and then I'm going to give it a second to dry, and then you can see some brighter spots. See right here? It looks like it needs a little more coverage, but actually I'm going to leave it because me personally, I'm not a huge fan of one super solid color. If you know me, you know that. I like there to be a little variation. So I think I'm going to dry brush a little, and I'll show that to you, how to dry brush, because I'd like to get a little bit of that wood grain look back to the painting job. But let's get that done. So that's what my sides look like. I went roofline tan and then the same color as the bottom with the rest of that side. And now we're gonna, if you want to dry brush, you're going to need to make sure that this is completely dry. You can't dry brush on a wet surface. Your surface has to be dry, and the brush that you come in with needs to be semi-dry. So we'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to touch up my tan where I hit it with the red, and then we'll do some dry brushing. So we'll teach that technique. All right, let me just touch up where I messed it up. I think I have some jute rope fibers in my paint. All right, I'm going to do a quick look around and make sure there's nothing else I need to touch up before we dry it. This would make, actually, you guys, I know many of you are mamas, but I think this would make such a nice Mother's Day gift for someone, and to have the pictures of the kiddos on there would just be fabulous. So I'm going to dry this really well, and then we'll do a little dry brushing. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl said she fluffed the nest. There are so many ways to say that, right? Spread the blessings, sprinkle the blessings, sprinkle the seed, fluff the nest, sharing. Thank you, thank you. You're watching me on lunch? Cheryl, what are you eating for lunch, my girl? You guys, you ever have those days where you just can't eat enough? It's one of those days for me. I had yogurt this morning, and normally that just suffices me until about 2-3 o'clock. Nope. I ate my yogurt, and then at noon I was like, I'm still hungry. So I had a meat stick and a cheese stick. And then I was still hungry. So I went to reach for some granola, like a trail mix actually. But you guys know, I told you last night, yesterday's for subscribers and the Craft Therapy Club members. I know you guys know. I don't know if I mentioned it on the public page yet, but I'm using that Lumen, the Lumen device to count my macros and to, as they say, hack my metabolism. So you count what you're eating for carbs and protein and fats, and you try to stay within the limits that they suggest. Oh, a taco. Cheryl, that sounds yummy. Hi, Patty. How are you? Hello, friend. So anyway, I looked at the carbs on the trail mix, and I was like, whoa, that'll throw my whole budget off. So I had to hold back on that. Okay, I want to take the tape off. Here's the thing. I'm going to come in with this same color. I'm not going to use a different color. I'm going to use the same exact color, and I'm going to come in and dry brush a little bit. Again, for me, it's about keeping it cohesive. So that color is actually quite similar to the jute rope color. So if I hit my jute rope with it, I'm not concerned about that. So that's one reason I'm going to take the painter's tape off. The other reason is I really want to make sure that what's underneath this, because the red color is so red, I want to make sure that I really got good coverage. So I'm going to remove this before I start putting the finishing touch. Let's get this off of here. I think it's not completely dry. I just got some red paint on me. It's not completely dry, but it's drying. And I want to see, before I get too far, what it looks like under there. Like, did I miss anything? Yeah, right here, it looks like I should touch up. But I'm going to take this off, do my touch up, dry it, and then do some dry brushing. Right here, I feel like needs a little touch up. Okay, and see right there, little touch up right there, that white spot. Nothing too bad. Okay. You could take, like I said, you could take your rope off completely if you wanted to mess with it. But I didn't want to mess with it. It's like, no, it looks good. I don't want to have to redo it. So we're going to leave it on there, and then we'll do some dry brushing. So who else have you been watching today? Since all the Craft Around the Clock group has been so quiet today, what has everybody been watching? Are you watching crafters? Are you crafting yourself maybe instead? What are you up to? So let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear. It does look like a barn, you guys, especially with the pallets, like the pallet, the little individual pallets, boards. Okay, dry brushing. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to brush over this with some paint, but I'm going to take a little piece of scrap paper. It's just a little piece of scrap watercolor paper. You see, I practice and try other things on it. I just want to see how much paint is on there now. There's quite a bit actually. So I don't really need any more paint on here. See that? This is the dry brushing look that I'm going for. Not this. I don't want full coverage. I want to just touch on the wood grain with this. I'm going to go the same direction that the wood pallets are going. And I'm just going to come down and I'm going to drag it. You don't even have to do the whole darn thing, but you're going to see it's very, very subtle, but it's going to pick up on the wood grain and it's going to make it come out a little bit. I'm going to grab just like, look at how dry that is. There's not a lot of paint on there. You see that? It's not wet with paint. And if you're not really comfortable with dry painting, have a little piece of paper there that you can try it out on and practice with. So the one thing that you want to try to avoid is having like start and stop marks on your project. And the less paint you have on here, the easier it is to control that. So go slow, because you can always add more. You can always add more paint. But if you put on a little bit too much, you're going to go back in with your red and just touch it up. Like if you end up putting too much in a spot. So I'm going to purposefully muck it up in some spaces more than others. I'm going to hit those edges. All right, you guys, it's really subtle. And you can get more crazy with this if you want. Like if you want it to be more dramatic. Crazy isn't the right word. Dramatic's probably a better word. I actually think I need a little more paint. It's drying up as it's sitting there. So I'm just going to put a little tiny drop, not even a dime size. It's really little. All right, now. And sometimes what I'll do, I'll sometimes keep my brush broad, wide, and sometimes I'll make it skinny. See the difference? Sometimes I'll do a broad stroke, which gives me a wide, and then sometimes I'll go skinny. Just again, it's about, I don't want it to look naturally mucked up and brushed. I don't want it to look super perfect. If you like more, put on more contrast. If you want less, like, oh man, I put that there and I don't like it, just come in with your base color and go over it. You don't even have to cover it completely. You can just come over it and clean up the part that you don't want. If you want it completely covered, just cover it completely. It's totally up to you. And you're just going to play with this until you get the look that you want. Now, I like it like that. See, it's really, really subtle, especially from far away. It's really subtle, and it gives the paint job a little bit of, to me, visual interest and variety. And this dry brushing comes with time. It's something that the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be with it. So just start. And don't worry, it's just paint. Like I said, you can always come in with that red paintbrush again, your base color, mine is red, but you can come in and say, man, I don't like how it looks like there's three columns right in a row. You just come in with that other color and touch it up a little bit so it doesn't look that way anymore. And this just all comes with practice. And I actually find this quite relaxing to do this. So I'm trying not to pay attention to the lines, the boards, so that my lines look really random. I don't want them to look like I did every single board individually. I want it to look, I'll go over both boards at the same time. But I'm going all in one direction. Again, you don't have to do that. If you want to do two different directions, I go back and forth, totally up to you. I like to do it all in one. It just keeps it easier for me. Basically keep it one direction. When you're doing something like this, a lot of times I'll remind you guys, sometimes you have to pull your face away from it and look at it as a whole. Because if you're focusing just on these little marks that you just made, you might not like those little marks. They may look inadequate, inappropriate, too dark, too light. I don't know. Whatever adjective you're going to put on it that is negative, that you don't like. But remember, when you're looking at this project as a whole, you're not going to be looking at that individual mark. You're going to have photos in front of this, and you're going to have your little word phrase that you put in front of it. And you still have the other whole surface behind it. So it's just one little piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole thing. So don't lose track. Like, what do they say? The forest through the trees. Is that the phrase? Something about see the forest through the trees, something like that. It's that same phrase. Like, it's just part of the picture. It's not the whole thing. So in here, it looks actually quite bold compared to on the bottom. I'm not going to get rid of that because I like the way it looks, but I am going to add more to the bottom. I'm going to come in here and just add some more brush strokes. You helped your granddaughter pick up her prom dress. Oh, Kathy, what color did she go? When is prom? First of all, when is prom? Okay, who did I tell that I'm working prom? The prom after party. Did I tell? Who knows that? Which group did we talk about that in? The prom after party. I can't remember where I said it. But Kathy's saying she helped pick out a prom dress. What color? Oh, I want to know. I don't have girls, so this stuff gets me excited. Okay. See, that's a little more bold. It's okay. It's all good, because remember, it's just part of the story. It's not the whole story, right? It's just part of the story. You can always come back in with your red if you're really unhappy and fix something. Okay. All right, I'm liking it like that. I think it looks more like a barn now than it did its solid color. Do you think? Do you agree with me on that? Follow what I'm saying? I think it looks more like a barn. Here's where I fixed that little spot right there. And so now it looks just solid red. So I am going to hit that with a little bam. Okay, that looks rustic and it looks chippy. And in fact, I'm actually going to take my red and I'm going to do the same thing along my roof line so that they're contrasting dry brushing very lightly, not a whole lot here. See, not a whole lot, just a little bit. I'm just adding that on there so it doesn't look so darn perfect and it's really coordinated. Didn't pick new colors. I just kept it really simple. Same colors, same brushes. We're not making ourselves go crazy here with all kinds of options. I'm going to hit on these edges a little bit to make them a little darker with that red. Just the edges, as you can see. Just to make that a little darker. Oh my gosh, I'm loving that already. I'm loving it already. Okay, I think that I'm done with these. Here's my paints that I have left over. So I'm going to put those aside. Oh, the nice thing about these little porcelain, if you can find porcelain plates to use in your creative room, your table, your craft table, whatever, these clean up really easily with water, number one, when they're water-based paints like acrylic and craft paints. The other thing is, most of them, because they're water-based, you could add water or like your liquid medium to them and reconstitute those and get them working again. So you could, use them again maybe if you needed to. So I'm just going to put those aside. I think I'm done with that stuff, but I'm not sure. Let's just get it put aside so it's out of the way. My little clips. And then let's look at what we got now. So this one's pretty much complete and I'm loving it. I got my sides. Oh, you know what? I didn't dry brush these sides with a little bit. I should just hit it, right? Just a little bit so it looks totally cohesive. Just a little. So it doesn't look so perfect. I'm all about things being perfectly imperfect. Okay, that looks fantastic. All right, now let's get our other board. Here's our other board. Make sure that your hangers are where you want them to be. There are 3 hangers so that, like I said, your slats of wood can either be positioned horizontally or vertically. I'm going to go horizontal. This is going to go on top of this. Now, you guys, like I said, you do you. This actually looks really cute the way it is. It looks so rustic and it actually would match our house. We live in a house that has log cabin siding on it. So this actually would match our house very well, to be truthful with you. But my original idea was to get this paper is going to come on here. And this actually, get this paper on here. We're going to cut it in strips and glue it down so that we can still see the slats. And there are 3 individual pieces, but the paper is going to cover it. Again, you don't have to use this paper. You don't have to use paper at all. You can use either side of the paper. I'm going to leave that totally up to you. I'm going to use this side and I'm going to cut it down. So the way I'm going to measure, you guys, I'm super fancy. Blue with sequins. Oh, Kathy, it's May 6th, prom. And she picked blue with sequins. Oh, yay. Oh, Denise said it was last night that I mentioned. I think I mentioned it before that. Oh, Paula knows. Paula knows. Paula knows I'm working. Prom after party, 1:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the morning. And actually, we're going at 10:30 at night to help set up the inflatables and all that stuff for the kids. And then I'll be back at the prom. My kid's not even going to prom. He's going to DECA, State DECA. But I'm going to prom. Well, I'm not going to the actual prom. I'm going to the after party to help. So the after party, they have lots of games for the kids to play. They change out of their dresses and their tuxedos or whatever they've chosen to wear. They go home and change quick into like jeans and whatever they're comfortable with. And then they come and they have the inflatables and they have cornhole and all kinds of darts and games for the kids to play. And they give away amazing prizes. So anyway, I'm excited. Chris and I are doing it. I told him it's like date night for us. So what I did was I made a little tiny pencil mark on the back. It's tiny. It's right there on the back, the side that's not going to be seen, to give me my point of where I want to cut my paper. And you saw me hold it up to my board and I made a little mark where I wanted it to be. You could go a little short. You could go a little long. That's totally up to you. I'm going to have it just maybe a little shy of the size of the board so that the board peeks through a little bit. But this paper that I gave you, it's a 12 by 12, but then it has this like informational stuff on the bottom that's about a 1/2 inch. That makes it 12.5 actually. But of course, we're not going to use that. We wouldn't use that on a project. But this should fit on here. Now that I've measured, that should fit on there. It's just a tish. Look at, it's just a tish long. So again, with the pencil, this is the way I do it. It's just, for me, it's a lot easier and less stressful than trying to figure out fractions on a ruler. So I just do this. I want it to be just shy for me. If you want full coverage, then you lined it up exactly where you want it. I want it to be just a little bit, just a hair smaller than the board, so that the board is peeking through. And I'm going to mark with my pencil where I want to cut it. And then I'm going to take that slice off and then we're going to glue it down. And then let's talk about the glue, because I went back and forth about this. I think you could do several things with the glue. Let me just double check, make sure we're the right length now. Yeah, it's perfect, because I want it just shy. I don't want it personally. I don't want my paper going all the way to the edge. I kind of want the wood showing through, like a little frame around it. So I cut it just shy. Okay, for the wood or the glue part, let's talk about this for a second. This is like a technique, procedure. What is the right tool to use or the right glue to use? Couple of things. If you use a liquid glue on paper, it's going to make your paper warp and get, all like wonky, right? Because the paper will absorb the liquid. And then when it absorbs the liquid, it crunches up. So that will happen to cardstock too. So if you used a pure liquid glue, like if you came in with, like any kind of, liquid craft glue that you're going to put on there, I would highly, highly recommend, if you're going to do that, to brush your glue on, because when you put the glue on, if it's thick, it's going to bead up and you will see those beads through the glue. Just like if I used a hot glue stick and I put beads of hot glue and then put my paper on, through the paper, you will see the beads of hot glue, which we don't want. We don't want to see that. So I think what I'm going to do, my choice of glues to use, I have this fantastic double-sided tape that's very wide. It's a 1/2 inch wide. I got it from scrapbook.com. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use kind of a middle of the ground, it's not liquid, but it's not a tape, it's a glue stick. And my glue stick that I use, the Scotch Crate, it's very stringy and liquidy, but it's not liquid enough that the paper should be affected by it. So I'm going to use a little bit of both to be safe. You can use whatever glue you want to get your paper down. You could use Mod Podge. You could use any of your decoupage glues as well. I'm just going to try to avoid using the liquid. I could use the liquid to show you. It could be a little test, but truthfully, when I think through a project, I think, well, what I don't want is I don't want this to get bubbled up. I don't want the paper to show any bubbling. So that's why I chose, and I talk you through your glue options for a project, because they're not going to have the same results. You love them, Kelby. Cass says, I'm not doing mine right now, and I wanted to watch your technique. I plan on making mine like a doghouse. Oh, cute. I have a bone-shaped wood piece to put in there. Oh my gosh. And she's going to use rope for the picture. Well, Kathy, when you do that, my love, we want to see. I hope you know that. We all want to see. So the way you can share it, remember, you can't share a photo on a social media business page normally. Like you couldn't share a photo on the business page, but we want to see it. So you would go to one of the groups, because the group is a community where you can share your project photos. So I have two of them. I have a free one called the Crafty Chicks Club, and I have my paid membership group called the Craft Therapy Club. You're welcome to be in both. We'd love to have you in both. Okay, so see what I'm doing? I'm just lining up my tape. I've been cutting it just because on these edges, I wanted to make sure I got right to the edge. Like I wanted the tape to get right to that edge. Here, I don't feel like I need to as much because I'm going to be putting a little bit of this on there too. So I'm going to do a little bit of both. So I'm going to do this, the very edges with this wide, super sticky double-sided tape. And when you use double-sided tape, the real key to doing it is to make sure you burnish it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to really press that down into the paper. Okay, and then I will take, I have this pokey tool. It's like a little pokey thing, like a little needle on the end there. And it has a burnisher there. Got these, I think it came in a set. There were a couple of them. And I got them from the Dollar Tree a long time ago. It was a long time ago. So I use that to try to get, I don't really have nails, to get that backing off. I'm going to throw that in the garbage. So this is all it's going to take. You're going to do this 3 times because you're 3 panels. There's the 3 or the 4 pieces. And here's where I'm going to, I didn't put any glue in the middle. I'm going to use this in the middle. Oh, that stuff, that sticky tape is stinking sticky. Okay, now I'm going to take that and we're going to put it on the top. And I'm going to, I like to stand right over it. Now, before you do this, make sure you have your hangers where you want them so that you can hang it if that's what you plan on doing with it. Oh, and before I put this on, if you want to, you can give this a light sanding. If you have any stray, like little pieces of wood coming off, you might want to sand it. I'm not doing that, but you could. If you see anything that, you know, is like a, you know, wood, natural wood. It's natural wood and it's pallet wood, so it's really dry. And sometimes it has some splinters along the way. And if you want to get rid of those, you could certainly use your sanding paper to do that. Now I'm using this to smooth that out. Make sure we have real, just like I did the tape on the back side, we're going to make sure that tape is really adhered on the front side. Okay, we're going to do that 3 times. So I got the first one done. I'm going to go ahead and cut both of these at the same time. So I need to measure, I need a mark to tell me where each of these are. And let's see, I think I'd be good. I'm going to cut it there, then I want to cut it here. Have to take into account that little split in the middle. And then also what we need to do is I need to account for the fact that it's just like a quarter, not even, yeah, it might be a 1/4 inch. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch, a 1/3 of an inch, something like that, longer than it needs to be. So I'm going to make a mark there. So then my paper cutter. If you don't have a paper cutter, you can use your scissors. I would just mark with a ruler, mark both ends with a ruler, and then give yourself a pencil line and use your scissor. Or you could use your cutting. Some of you may have a cutting mat that goes on your table with an X-Acto knife. You could also use that. That might be a little long. We'll see. You can always cut off more if need be. So I'd rather always, you know, be on the side of caution and cut it a little longer than it needs to be or bigger, and then cut off what we don't need. So my mark now is down here. So I'm going to line it up on the bottom. Push all those aside, and hopefully now we'll just check to make sure that these are the right size. Oh, you guys, I run out of space. I'll run out of space in my room. I can't be the only one. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. You do not, like I said, have to use the paper that I sent to you. I rather like it, obviously, or I wouldn't have sent it to you. So you're going to be able to see that wood through the middle, which I really like. You can use either side of it. I mean, what a big difference it would make to put the letters. You could do one of each. You could do the two brown sides and the letter, or opposite. Girl, like I always say, you do you. All right, let's get some tape ready. Back to work. Go, Cheryl. Have a good day. Have a great day, girly. I hope it's awesome. Okay. I'm going to do edge to edge here because I want to cut and get a nice straight cut here. Between I'm using two different tapes. So between the two of them, I'm going to be really covered. You know, if there's like these corners, I didn't get the tape all the way in the corner. So I'll just use the glue stick there. I think it'll be just fine that way. So see that? And don't forget to burnish, which just means push that tape really hard into that paper. So less talking, more doing, so that, because, you know, I'm aware of the fact that you're watching here. And some of you are following along like Jeanette. She's creating live with me today. Is there anybody else out there who's come on since the beginning that we haven't checked in yet, and that is creating live alongside me? And you know what? Sometimes what happens is when you girls create alongside me, if I'm going faster than you are, sometimes you guys go faster than I do, but if I go faster than you just catch up later, because you'll know how to do it, and you can just either walk away if you need a little break and finish later, or when I'm done, if you're still working, you just keep working until you're all done. That's the beauty of it. It's at your own pace. Oh, that stuff is wicked sticky. Wicked sticky. Okay, so I got to get the middle because I don't have any tape in the middle. And I want to get my corners. There's my edges, girls, that I always miss. I really want to get those corners in because I don't want them sticking up. I'll put this one in the middle. Oh, and my board is cracked, which I absolutely love. I'll show you here in a second. Here's my little tool. Look at that. It's got this cool crack right there. Like it's a little wider. So it's wood. So it's, you know, it's cut to size, but then sometimes you have little bitty, like natural, flaws that I think make it more charming because it's wood. This stuff, I'm gonna have to get more of it. I'm really loving it. I bought this, so I have, oh, that's really crooked. I'm gonna restart. I have some double-sided tape that I got off of Amazon. It's like a no-name brand. It's not a particular brand. It was inexpensive. I got a ton of it. And it's really, I got like a really thin. The thicker one, I went with scrapbook.com. There's a huge difference, and I would say for sure scrapbook.com has way better tape than the one that I got off Amazon. Now, Amazon may have great tape. It's not the one I got though. It's okay, but for heavy duty projects, I would not use that other tape. You need heavy duty stick, and I'd say stick with the scrapbook.com, or maybe you find, what tape do you love? If you have a different tape that you absolutely swear by and love, that's a double-sided tape that would hold really well. Tell us in the comments. We love suggestions. Hey, Rita. Hello, hello. Tanya says she's crafting alongside us. What are you working on, Tanya? Miss Tanya. See, once you get rolling, it goes really fast. And the more, I feel like this, I do actually wish that the double-sided tape came in a dispenser, but it doesn't. It comes like the dang painter's tape. It just comes in a roll, and you have to manually measure and cut. So I do think if anybody's listening in the tape world and you have an influence on that, I think it would be great to have a dispenser on that thing that actually cut the tape for you. In the meantime, it works really stinking well, so I'm just going to keep using it the way that I am. It's a little cumbersome to get used to doing it, but once you've done it a few times, you get faster. Okay, look at that. How cute. I love it. I love that you can see these separations. If you wanted to, You could come in and sand these edges to make them softer. I actually made mine go in a little bit because I wanted to see the wood. It's just a sliver, you guys. It's not a lot, but I wanted to see my wood. If you went all the way to the edge, you may want to sand off. That's totally up to you. I'm not going to do that because I don't need to. Now I better plug in my hot glue gun. Oh, I already did. Yay. I think it's ready. Let's test. Nope, it's not ready. It's not ready. I thought it was plugged in. It's not. All right. Let that heat up while I'm going to get my pictures ready. And here's what I'm talking about there. A couple of things. All right. This is going to go on top of here. How cute is this, you guys? I'm definitely done with these. I'm going to put these aside so I don't get any paint where I don't need it. Okay. Cover my glue stick. I am going to need my glue stick again. I have one more thing that I decided to do that I didn't originally plan on, but yes, I am going to do. Okay. The boys' pictures are going to go on here, plus one of these. You can pick any one that you want. You have, what did I say, 9 of them to use, and whichever ones you don't use today, you'll have for future projects. I think I want to use, I really like the hashtag blessed, but I don't like the pink with the red, so I won't use that one. So maybe shout it out in the comments. Which one do you think? I like the feeling blessed, and I really like the family. So I'm going to cut the family out. And it's just a cardstock, so it should hang very easily on your board. So I'm going to cut the family out. You can use a paper cutter if you, or a ruler if you want to be super precise. As you can see, those things don't matter to me. I'm not all about precise. So maybe family. I love the black heart, you guys. I'm going to fussy cut this out, and I want just the black heart. You could cut it so that it has some white around it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to cut it. The black, you know, with the colors on the boys' photos, I think this will show up really well. It's dry brush. It's a black heart, and it's dry brushed with white. So I think it'll show up really well. And I think, let's just see. You can play with these and decide which one you like most. But I'm kind of thinking something like that. I'm going to cut this down even a little smaller, more narrow, so there's less white. You could actually cut every single little one of these out and do something with them if you wanted, because they're all separate little letters. But I'm going to cut it like that as one big thing, and I may layer it with the heart. So let's see about that in a minute. Now the boys, I feel like on here, their pictures are so dark that they're getting lost. So I decided I would have some paper on hand to maybe do a frame of them. Now, this red frame with Gannon's red shirt does not work at all, but see how that, if I do that, he's going to show up so much better than if I put him down like that. So you might want to have some extra cardstock around that you can use to custom cut, like I just did, around your photo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue Gannon on to this piece of paper. Mine is wonky. It is totally wonky, but I cut this. This is cut wonky, the picture. And now my base is cut wonky. That truth, I mean, if you know me, this actually, I like it. It doesn't bother me. I actually prefer it to be like, it feels totally handmade, and I love that feeling. If you need it to be precise, which I understand there are those of you out there, my sister is that way. That would drive her crazy. Having that little wonkiness to the shape of it, she'd be like, oh, it's not right. To me, it's perfect. So you do you, girl. I'm going to get Gannon on here. I don't want any glue on his face, though. I'm going to get him on there. And what a huge difference that makes. See that? How much better he shows up on here than if I just left him by himself. I was going to do red for Landon, but it doesn't show up on the red. So we're going to just use the same color for Landon's photo. We're going to do this. And actually, what I could do is glue him down first and then cut around it. Might be easier. I love my dang glue sticks, you guys. You'll find them in my Amazon store. If you're looking for a good glue stick, this is a permanent glue stick. It's nice and, like I said, juicy, which is a weird word to use to describe a glue stick, but it is. It's really nice and juicy, and it works really well, and it is permanent once it's dry. I even use it with my napkin projects. Oh my gosh, so much better, so much better. So now I have to decide to get my little clips out. My glue gun is heating up, and now I have to decide, like, I was planning on clipping these little words, clipping them on with the kids' pictures. Or I actually, my original plan for myself was to find one photo of the four of us and put it on here. I think I'm going to separate them and put a word in the middle like that. But of course, this is the fun part. You can do whatever you want. If you wanted to do it like that, that's cute too, to put the two kids together. I could do this and then put a heart between them. Listen, the nice thing about the clips is the kids could even help decide this. The grandkids could do it. If they want to switch pictures around or change pictures out because they got a new picture of them at a dance recital or a prom or whatever it might be, you could just switch them out. But you could glue these on. You could tape them on. These little shapes that you got, I gave you so many to choose from so that you can interchange or do whatever you want with them. I'm going to do this. I want that heart in front of the two boys. And then I'm going to put my family over here. The little clips are so fun. Like that. The rainbow's so stinking cute. The kids wouldn't let, my boys wouldn't like the rainbow, but I like the rainbow. The heart feels like, because it's black, it feels like it's not showing up real well. Watch this. I'm going to get all fancy on me now. Here's what I think I'm going to try. I'm going to try to take that same paint. Now I put my, that paintbrush was stiff and clean. I already put my paintbrush in the water. So I'm going to take a new paintbrush and I'm going to dry brush this heart so it shows up a little better. See that? Same dry brushing that I did on the house. We're going to add to the heart. Just adding it to the white that's already there. So hopefully it shows up a little bit better than it. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. All right. That worked out good. Now we're just going to glue them together, girls, and we're done. And then, like I said, you can interchange these. You got a picture of your dog that you want to put up there, or, you know, there was a recent baby shower or wedding or graduation. The nice part about it, once you have it all together, is these are all interchangeable. So this, you could make a little one of these on your printer that says happy birthday or congratulations for graduation. You get a little cap and gown die cut or something from Michael's and put that on there. But now we're just going to glue. I'm going to hit the high spots. The two high spots are these two sticks. Everything else is set back, so the glue's not going to stick to that. So I'm going to put a whole lot of this glue. Mine has a little gold coming through because I had a gold glue stick in there. So it's it looks a little brown, but that's actually gold. And then I'm going to flip it and we're just going to glue it down. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm loving this so much. I would love to know what you think of it. Let me get it big on the screen so you can see the project bigger. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Tanya, you love it? You're loving this craft, Jeanette? This is the April craft kit. I'm going to see if I can back you up a little more. Just so you can see. I want to make sure you can see the whole darn thing. This is the April craft kit, and I'm going to have one a month. Coming up, I still have this kit available. If you want to buy this kit, it is still available. I have about 10 of them left. This is the first month that I did it. I'm going to do it every month. Craft Therapy Club members, I'm dropping the link. Everybody can buy the kit. You can buy the kit and follow along with this to make your own project. I'll mail the kits out on Monday if you order them this weekend. Because I have them. They're all ready. I just need to have you make your payment, and then I'll print out a label and get it off to you in the mail. And then you can follow along with the video to make your own. Craft Therapy Club members, don't forget to use your discount if you're purchasing a kit. If you bought one already and you love it so much, you think you want to make another one for a graduation gift or Mother's Day gift, go grab another one. Like I said, I think No, I have 20 left actually. I ordered more of them. I'm correcting myself. I have about 20 of them left. So go grab one or two or three. It would make a fabulous Mother's Day gift to give to somebody. And you can customize it whatever way you want. I'm so glad, Kelby, that you love it. Jeanette's going to use her kids' school pictures. Jeanette, I cannot wait to see if you've made any adjustments. Like, I love the letters for school pictures, especially. I love the letter paper, the design on the back of this. And you have two choices. So you could do every other panel. You could do all the panels letters, all the panels with the neutral, completely up to you. But everybody who's doing it, anybody who bought a kit, I'm going to send you an email with some instructions on how to share your kit. Or excuse me, to share your finished project. So I'll give you a deadline, like I'll give you maybe a week or two and say, hey, if you want to have your name entered to win a prize, it's like the share challenge where you share your project photo and I'll tell you where to do it and with what hashtag. And then if you follow those instructions and do it by a certain date, your name will go in to win a prize, which you guys know. I love to treat you guys to some prizes. It's just a really fun way to encourage you to share your project photo and to not be shy about it, to not be shy. We all want to see it. Karen's loving it. Oh, I'm so glad you're loving it. This is the April craft kit here at the Comfy Nest with Grace. If you are just catching on, if you're catching the replay, we would love to have you join in the fun. Share your project photo when you're done. If you don't have the kit yet, go grab one. Grab three. Grab three and make it a weekend project for you and your two daughters, or you and your two girlfriends that you invite over, and you have coffee and you're going to create these kits. It's really easy. There are not a lot of extra supplies that you need. And it can be a really fun girls' night or girls' brunch if you want to have some friends over to create alongside you. Oh gosh, I'm so glad you guys love it. I'm seeing the comments that it's so cute. Oh, Missy. Hi, Missy. Missy saying she loves it. Diana loves it. That makes me so happy. That makes me just so happy to hear you say that. So again, I'm showing you on the screen, there is a comment, and the link to grab the kit is in the description. If you can't find it, just go to thecomfynestwithgrace.com, then go to the shop and hit the craft kit section. There's only one kit right now because this is the first one, but there'll be one every month. So if you're catching the replay and it's a week later, I still may have some in stock. So don't be afraid to check out the website. I appreciate you guys participating and having some fun. It is Friday. I hope you have some fun creating, whether it's this or any other. Brenda says she's still working on hers. Girl, you do you. Take your time. Enjoy the process. Put some good music on. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining in. I'm appreciating that you're here. Enjoy your crafts this weekend. Don't forget to share, even if it's not this one. We want to see in the groups what you're working on. And we have a prize that I give away every month in the Craft Therapy Club, where if you share your project photos in the Craft It Challenge, I give away a box of craft supplies to one lucky winner every month. So don't forget to share. I'll always reward you and incentivize you to share so that we can all enjoy each other's projects. You guys, have a beautiful, blessed weekend. Thank you for being here. Blessings to you guys and your family. Stay healthy and safe.